Hello everyone, Curious Corduroy here, and on Twitter, Square Enix has announced that next week on June 16th, they will be holding a live stream for the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII. This is going to be a 10-minute celebration live stream event where we will most likely get the official announcement of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. We've all been talking about the game for years. The game was never officially announced. It was just stated that they were in development at the time, and it's been a little over 2 years now since the game started development, so I would expect at this event to see an official announcement for the game. Maybe we'll get a short CG trailer, maybe we'll get the subtitle for whatever the game is going to be called. It could just be Remake Part 2, but this is Square Enix we're talking about, and they really like those wacky, convoluted subtitles, so who knows what it's going to be named. However, on Twitter, this was posted by Audrey, who is someone who, she does a lot of translating in the Final Fantasy community, and apparently, I can't believe I'm saying this, if you're familiar with the pop singer Gackt in Japan, he was the model, and I believe he even voiced him in the Japanese version of Crisis Core, but he was the physical model for Genesis, who we saw in Crisis Core. Apparently, he had a concert the other day where he sang live, dressed up as Genesis. I can't help but notice that the timing on that performance is a little bit too coincidental, so I don't know if that means he's going to be a part of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, or if maybe that means that Crisis Core is coming back in some way on the PlayStation Plus service, or if Genesis is actually coming back for real and we're going to get more Crisis Core stuff in 7 Remake Part 2, which honestly wouldn't surprise me. You could totally open up that game with Zack, well, technically Cloud and Sephiroth, and even Genesis going to Nibelheim if you really wanted to. So maybe this is just Gackt, doing something silly and fun to pay homage to his character in Crisis Core, or maybe there's something more there. I really don't know, but I do not know how to feel about this. So I would expect to see Remake Part 2. We could maybe even get some key art for the game. It would be really nice to see some gameplay footage, but at the same time, I don't want to get my hopes up, so maybe that CG trailer will be there. I would also expect to see some information on Ever Crisis. Ever Crisis was announced last year, but we haven't seen anything on it since, and its release of its first episode is supposed to be this year, so I would not be shocked if we get some Ever Crisis footage, and maybe the game itself might look a little different, and perhaps we could even get a release date for the game. Also for 7 Remake, I would not expect a release date, especially since Final Fantasy 16 is so much farther away than we all expected it to be. However, if we got anything in regards to a date, maybe they would give us a just release year. So I'm kind of thinking maybe the game will come out in 2024, so we might see that at the event as well. And finally, they'll probably talk about the First Soldier. The game is doing really well, even though they don't market the game. It's currently in its 3rd season of content, so people are clearly playing it, so I wouldn't be surprised if they bring up the game's health and its success at this event too. And of course, a couple of months ago, Square did file trademarks for Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, Labyrinth Striker, and Final Bar Line. As for Intergrade, that could be a re-upped trademark because the game is going to release on Steam sometime this year, or it could be for an Xbox version. Although, the more that time passes, the more unlikely an Xbox version of this game actually becomes. I think Sony really ponied up a lot of money to try and keep 7 Remake and Final Fantasy as a whole exclusive to PlayStation platforms. As for Labyrinth Striker and Final Bar Line, it's not even known if they're Final Fantasy related, so if they're not, we won't see them there. If they are, and they are related to Final Fantasy VII, we'll probably see them at this event or sometime in the near future. Either way, it's really exciting to finally be getting something Final Fantasy VII related that's in a official capacity. It's going to be really cool. I'll be checking out that live stream next week. Again, it's going to be on Thursday, June 16th. I believe it's 5 p.m. my time. So it's going to be short. Whatever happens, I will be covering that live stream. Any cool announcements, I will make a video on it here. But I am Curious Corduroy. That is the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Please leave your thoughts and comments below. What do you think about Gackt dressing up as Genesis around the time that they announced that there's going to be a live stream next week? Seems a little too close to comfort for me, but any thoughts you guys have, you can leave those in the comments below. I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.